All right, we're here kicking off Relentless. We have the second match of the best of 7 series, and I'm joined here by Robert on commentary. Robert, welcome to your first time on commentary, I believe, right?
It is my first time on commentary. Thank you for having me on Relentless, and I'm ready to see if Benny can even his series with Ace tonight.
I mean, especially after last week, he got that surprise loss. I mean, you got to wonder what's going through his head, especially when he is a top-tier, top-caliber talent like he is. Do you have any idea what goes through the head of someone like Benny Banks when that happens to you?
Well, Benny Banks, through his time, he has almost risen to the top of the brand, facing Justice Stone before, back when he was an active member on the roster, to try to become the world champion. And back then, he could not get it done, and since then, he's fallen down a bit. He knows what he's able to do, and I would assume most of the roster knows what Benny is capable of. Getting a roll-up never feels good, no matter who you are. You know that that's just getting caught on surprise. No one likes when that happens to you. He knows that he should have been able to win that match, and he was not able to, because Ace was just able to pull up a sneaky roll-up. He just has to watch out and make sure that doesn't happen again tonight. And it probably hurt his confidence a little bit, but I'm sure that he knows that he can get it done as long as he watches out for that tonight.
Yeah, and here we see Ace Reeves making his way to the ring now. Former openweight champion, took that title. What was it, at Wrestle Wars, and I believe it was an open challenge match. Might be wrong on that, but the exacts don't matter as much when you realize that he was a fighting champion, but lost the title at the last pay-per-view to Chase Owens. Chase Owens, in a very convincing fashion, I should say, beat Ace Reeves. But Ace Reeves is at a point right now where he can, he won that title. He didn't defend it successfully, but he's going up against a top, like I said already, a top caliber talent. If he gets the second win, he's got a nice lead going into the next match in the series.
Yes, we know that no matter how, even if he's 2-0 above Benny, you can never count Benny out. But Ace, as someone who's not as accomplished as Benny, even if he got the win via roll-up, that's still a win. He's showing that he's able to, at least in any means necessary, beat whoever he needs to beat. If he can, dare I say, sweep Benny somehow, or even in the best of 7, win 4-3, 4-2, 4-1, 4-0, he shows that he does belong here. And then that could lead to more opportunities either against Chase again, or maybe even higher up the card against Yuri or Ben or Kenji or Brandon, whoever wins that tonight, if they're still champion in the future.
I got the point you were trying to make there, but we got a little bit of action going on in the ring here, as Ace Reeves hit that flatliner from the kneeling position and a roundhouse kick to the head. I mean, while you were explaining there, a lot of stuff was happening. Ace Reeves was able to get a lot of offense in a short period of time, now with an airplane spin.
Yes, Ace knows that while he's doing this match, he needs to be able to keep up with Benny. I think he thinks the best way to keep up with him will be to hurt him early.
Benny's outside. He's frustrated. He's pointing at the ref, telling him that this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Knife edge chop. And a Hurricanrana on the floor, giving him a little bit of payback from earlier on in the match. The athleticism between these two, as my statement being completely thrown in the trash as he throws him into the steps instead of doing high-risk maneuvers. Double stomp to the stomach. Ace Reeves, he's kept a very good hand on the controls here, I guess you could say.
Yes, he knows what he needs to do to hurt Benny early, and if he hurts Benny early, then the longer this match goes, the more wear that it'll bring to Benny, and the harder it'll make it for him. If he's still down,
it's getting really difficult for him here too, because he's in close quarters with Benny Banks, and Benny is repeatedly throwing him chest first into the corner of the steps. That was the second time that he's just sent him into the steps. Benny, remember, there's a count of 20 here. So they have plenty of time to inflict a lot of damage on the outside. But Ace sends him back in the ring because he wants to beat him on the inside.
Yes, beating him any means necessary is what Ace is looking for. But if he can show that he can cleanly pin Benny in the ring. That'll not
Of
only
course,
help with his confidence, but it'll.
Benny is a former cruiserweight champion, a former intercontinental champion. You have that kind of credibility to you. You beat someone that has that credibility. It makes you look 10 times better.
I could have said it better myself. Ace is just trying to make sure that he can show everyone on the roster that he belongs on this show and is someone that people need to look out for.
As he hits the arm drag, getting out of the way of a nice grapple attempt from face lock and smacking the wrist is Benny. Irish whip into the corner. Now the corner. I mean, Benny is like one of the most dangerous people to be anywhere near the top rope. As well as Ace, they both have high-flying moves as their finishing move. I mean, they both incorporate the moonsault in their finish. Count of 1, 2. Benny able to kick out at 2. Ace not very sure what happened there.
Ace thinking that the early damage that he did was going to be enough this early on. He's already, from the confidence he got from the roll-up from the first win, seems to be underestimating Benny early on.
Yes, he is, as he's currently getting powerbombed. Benny, he's definitely got the size advantage here. He's a good half a foot taller as he's going up to the top rope, maybe looking for the worst moonsault ever. Oh, knees up from Ace.
See, that's the part of doing the moonsault from the top, worst moonsault ever, worst landing ever you can have, are on someone's knees. The amount of pain that does to yourself, that's why they call it high risk and high reward.
Gets through. Oh, suicide dive. He hit the guardrail on the way down. But that's not stopping either one of these men from continuing. It seems we have a massive group of people in the crowd there. Some guy in a blue suit sitting on someone's lap. Kind of strange. I just noticed that when I was looking over at the guardrail. Back to the match. Sorry.
No, you're all fine.
Benny with a roundhouse kick on the floor. That was literally almost the exact same move that Ace hit him with earlier on.
Yes. Benny's out here trying to show Ace that his win last week was a fluke. Trying to build his confidence back
in
up.
fairness, it was. It was a roll-up.
Well, it's still going to be a win. At the end of the day, that's all that he was looking for. A win
is a win, yes. But an honorable win makes it so much sweeter. I mean, if you could pin someone after a grueling match like these two men can have, for sure, it gives you that more credibility and takes you up to that next level. Ace bulking up now.
That's why Ace threw him back into the ring earlier, because he wants to finish it in a way that'll actually let people respect him for what he's able to do in the ring, and not just see it as someone who has to take the coward's way out.
Wait, Benny's on the second rope now. I think he was going for the worst moonsault ever again, but the springboard variant. But Ace didn't allow him to get all the way into position as he's grappling in the corner and gets reversed. A Judas effect attempt, but he chops him instead. Sorry, I'm playing the pro down game here because it's just so quick. The action's so fast, up pace. Oh, wait a minute! What the? Ace Reeves just got a surprise victory from me because I didn't even see how he lost. I didn't even see how Benny got beat. I just saw that there was a pin.
See,
you need to stop distracting me.
Wow. This is what you get for having a guest commentator. This is what I was talking about with Ace. He's winning by any means necessary, as quickly as he can. Even the people supposed to be watching the match didn't even know what happened. How do you think Benny feels laying in the ring knowing that he's down 0-2 against someone who's not as accomplished as him and seems to not even be taking him seriously?
Exactly. I mean, that there's all those factors coming in, but I guess we'll have to find out next week. But we're gonna get on to our next matchup in just a moment. We'll see you then. All right, we're back here with our second matchup of the night as we have women's action. Louise Bates makes her long-awaited return to VPW, but she's sporting a new look here. I mean, it's very different from the way she was looking before her absence.
Making
Her
her
absence
way
was.
to the ring from Nashville,
Yeah,
Tennessee,
Louise Bates has been here nearly a year. She has a large repertoire of who she's faced, how many wins she's had, losses. Hasn't really been able to, in general, for how long she's been here and who she's faced, not been able to accomplish probably what she would have wanted so far. And after taking a bit of a hiatus, she's definitely come back different. Seems to be a bit more of a serious tone to her. Hopefully that means that in the ring she'll take herself a bit more seriously and be able to accomplish more as she goes on.
I hate to cut you off here, but if anyone should be taking anything seriously, I think it's the camera guy because he's been zooming into some very precarious situations here.
Yeah, we're gonna need to check that camera guy after the show.
I mean, it's no worse than last year. We had a referee we had to fire because he was doing some very inappropriate things near the female wrestlers.
Are you sure the referee is now not a cameraman? We need
I seriously
VPW to
hope
look into
not.
this.
I seriously hope not. But now her opponent, Veronica Martin, she's a very recent signing. This is her debut in singles action. She's usually in the tag division, but she was flourishing in the tag division, obviously, in Flip and Fly.
Yeah, they were able to.
Partner. Go ahead. Sorry.
They were. Her as a part of Flip and Fly were able to make it to the semifinals of the women's tag team title tournament, where, not to discredit her partner in any way, but she was putting on a good showing in the match. So Jacob Wells saw that and decided to give her an opportunity in a singles match to see what she's able to do there.
Of course. I mean, these women, especially in the tag division, they could do well in the tag division on their own, but it's when you get put in a singles environment where you could possibly see the tables turn for the careers of these women. And the men in the tag division have this issue where they could thrive in that division, but as soon as that team breaks up or disappears in general, they could be left, floundering, if that's the word I'm looking for, on the singles division. I mean, there's guys on Uprising like Chase Adkins. When Vontae took his hiatus, Chase Adkins tried to benefit from that, and he barely did. But the bell rings as Louise and Veronica go head-to-head, and Louise immediately kicks her in the gut and power bombs her.
Louise trying to come out the gate strong. Like I was trying to say on her entrance, it seems like she's brought a lot more of a serious demeanor, and it seems like a lot more of an aggressive demeanor to herself.
She definitely does, but that didn't stop Veronica from kicking her in the head there and knocking her to the ground, as Veronica gets only a 1 count on the pin attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, using the size and strength of her advantage, I should say, because she grabbed her by the head, and with the amount of strength that she has, held her still as she kneed her in the face. Now Louise with a drop kick to the knee to show her that she doesn't care about her knees.
Louise is just trying to come out here after her finally made a return back to EPW on Relentless, that she's here to actually show. I'm fumbling all over my words. She's here to show that she is here to stay and be a dominant woman on this roster. Veronica's out here trying to do exactly what Chase Adkins could not, even though her in Flip and Fly that they have definitely shown that they are a good tag team. Being in the singles environment is a lot different. She's not able to tag out if she gets tired. the only way to stop the match is by either winning or losing.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Louise was trying to suplex Veronica back in the ring from the apron, and Veronica burst it into a face buster. Again, showing the size advantage, but oddly enough, she doesn't care too much about that advantage because she hits a Hurricanrana on Louise. You would think she wouldn't go for stuff like that when she's got the height and strength that most of the women in the division don't have. She doesn't need to take those risks.
Yeah,
But she
with
still
the
does.
height and the strength, that does not mean that she won't use those moves. Because you have to be able to. She's going to show everyone that she's able to do what is not expected of her. With being the size of a woman that she is, compared to everyone else, she does have more power than everyone. Everyone's going to expect that from her.
Louise on her way to the Long Island boot in the corner, or broski, whatever you want to call it, or whatever it's called now. Either way, forearm strike by Louise, knocking her down to the mat. Louise, she's here to make a point, to be honest, but she goes for the drop kick for a second time and gets caught with a sling blade and a drop kick to the head.
Louise seems to be just throwing herself basically into Veronica, seeing if any move that she does will stick. It's hard to keep.
You're not wrong.
someone
As she
that's
said,
strong
as
down.
she literally threw her body at Veronica's back to try to get her with a super kick, but she just hit an angel's wings on Veronica. Grapple attempt goes with the fireman carry. Up and over goes Louise. Pushes her into the ropes. And a Hurricanrana of her own. See, Louise, like I said earlier, she's getting a lot more serious, but in this case, she's showing that she can still do all the things she used to do if need be.
Just because she's taking herself more serious does not mean that she's gonna change her entire moveset. She's just here to try to show.
Oh, Tiger Bomb by Veronica. 1, 2. Oh, change the pin on the ropes. 2. Still a 2 count, even though the ref very clearly saw Veronica hit the ropes there as she just hits a spear on Louise and pulls her away from the ropes. This could be it. 1, 2. Ah, got a 2 from Louise. And she sits up.
Louise is out here. Even Veronica's even trying to use undermine tactics to try to get the win.
No,
like I was saying,
Louise was pinning Veronica when that happened. Sorry. She pinned Louise with the Tiger Bomb. And with that happening, the roll-up was reversed, and Veronica had her feet on the ropes while she was being pinned. I'm sorry for some clarifying here. His monitor's out, so he can't really see what's going on from over in our little booth.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to see. I'm going more on sound of what I hear, and it makes it a little bit more difficult, but at the end of the day, I'm still trying to do what I can for commentary and to try to express to you how much these women are trying.
Oh, going for a pin, Veronica.
They can.
1. Only a 1 count, I think, or maybe that was a 2. It looked more like a 1 to me, but the ref looks like he put up 2 fingers.
Very light, too.
Yeah, spot buster by Veronica. There's exactly what I was saying. She has the ability to just use her strength to her advantage, but she's doing things she doesn't really need to do just yet.
Well, being able to use her strength to her
Louise.
advantage, the longer into the match that we
Knee
go,
back.
the
Oh,
further
wait a
into the
minute.
match we go, the stronger the power.
What is Louise doing here? Oh, grabbing her by the head. Oh, headlock driver. Wait, now I think she's going for... No, she's not going for a pin. I mean, that was a finisher. She told her to get up like she was trying to, end the match, but she didn't go for a finish. And now Veronica with the head scissors DDT going for the cover. 1, 2. Only a 2 count again, but Louise sits up for the second time.
It seems like Louise is definitely not taking Veronica lightly in this match. She knew she was getting her up, getting it ready for the finish, and thought to herself that it would not
Cut
be
her
much
from the
yet.
springboard. Sorry to cut you off, but Louise just did a springboard cut. And now she's telling her to get up again. Goes for a
Luis-
grapple, but Veronica just shoves her off like it's nothing.
Louise might have been thinking that the cutter was just enough to throw Veronica off and enough to disorient her. That finish would have been enough to stop it. Seems like Veronica got her head on straight, right on time.
Yeah, now she's going for that power. Oh! Psycho killer style with powerbomb lung blower. No, that's not what it's called. I think it's Project Champo is what that's called. But I was in the moment there. I was feeling power that she just drove with that force. She drove Louise into her knees.
See, that's the power of Veronica Martin that we all know that she has, and that she doesn't utilize as much as
Jesus,
she could.
Louise was fighting back there. Sorry again. She was fighting back, and Veronica literally just moves out of the way and throws her to the outside.
Veronica, even later in the match, is still able to use all of her strength to be able to quite literally throw Louise out.
The spear
and throw
again.
her around.
This could be it this time, though. 1, 2, 3. Veronica Martin just, I wouldn't say convincingly, like, that was definitely a hard-fought match, but it wasn't as hard as it could have been.
Yeah, Louise definitely did try as much as she could throughout the match, but like we were saying, the size and strength of Veronica, no matter how late into a match you get, is still always going to be a factor that she definitely used to her advantage towards the end of the match.
Yes. And we see the replay here of one of the pin attempts, and now we see that powerbomb in this replay. I don't know if we'll get a replay of the finish. We won't be, but we see Veronica celebrating her win here as we commentary await the next matchup. All right, here we are, third match of the night. This one is a qualifier for the Money in the Bank matchup at the pay-per-view, which is Last Stand 2020.
Yes.
I mean, it's been one whole year since Last Stand, and it's been one hell of a year at that. I mean, last year, Benny Banks, you know, he lost the first match tonight, but last year he had a world title match. I mean, like you said earlier, things can change for you in a year, like a year's time. So El Distributor here, making his way to the ring. Last we saw him was at Wrestle Wars in that chamber match, knockout only. What about Roger McGillicuddy? What do you know about Roger McGillicuddy, his opponent?
Roger McGillicuddy has been in BPW for quite a long time. He, former Intercontinental Champion, by technicality, I would put an asterisk next to it as a tag team champion. I don't know if how they're really reciting in the record book, so I'm not going to talk about that much, but he has been Intercontinental Champion before. If I remember, he had a few successful title defenses and was a pretty good champion. But now he's here trying to pave his way to the Money in the Bank match so he can climb all the way to the top of Relentless and be the next world champion.
Yeah, and he's got two possible, you know, challengers if he was to win the Money in the Bank there. He has either Brandon Xander tonight or Kenji Urai. So, I mean, it's one of the two men at the end of the night.
And his opponent from
Kenji's
Toronto,
being represented
Ontario,
by Jacob
Canada,
Wells in his corner, and Brandon requested
223
Justice Stone.
pounds.
So we'll have to see
The Machine.
like how those two, especially after Uprising, how they coexist. But to piggyback on your points about Roger McGillicuddy, this man has had quite a run on Relentless so far. He, in the debut episode, if I'm not mistaken, in the debut episode, he beat Chase Owens via countout. and he made it a habit to start winning via countout.
Going back to the point
So-
that we've been making throughout this whole show, win by any means necessary.
Exactly, and as much as I understand that, I want these men to win these matches in a respectable manner. And I don't know if Roderick McGillicuddy is up for that task. I think he just wants to get back up in the ranks like he used to be.
Roderick is seeing this as his quickest path to be able to get back up to the top.
His golden ticket, if you will.
Exactly. And El Distribuidor is...
Oh, Jesus! Speaking of El Distribuidor,
Yep.
he walked into and got tossed into the air. El Distribuidor is tossing Roderick around like a rag doll.
He is here to make an impression on his debut match in Relentless ever since he got traded for Dan Masters off of Uprising. On Uprising, he just had a few multi-man matches and didn't really get to have an opportunity.
He didn't have the spotlight that he probably felt he deserved.
And now he's here, and in his debut match, he has the opportunity to not only beat someone who has some prestige in VPW,
Hey,
but
prestige is a completely different thing here.
Alright, come on.
It was easy,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah, it was. But speaking of easy, El Distribuidor has started out quite literally throwing Roderick around and is here to show that if he can win this, then he's one match away from his
Crossface chicken
guaranteed
wing.
match.
But El Distribuidor, in a very smart thing that I would have done myself if I was in the ring, he was put in a submission hold, and the first thing he did to get out of the submission was stomp on the exposed feet of Roderick McGillicuddy.
Something that most superstars don't really take advantage of, as they should. It's a very weak spot that he chooses
cover by
not to
Roderick.
take.
Not even one count.
Roderick is very much taking the newcomer to Relentless a lot more lightly than he definitely should.
Yes, as he gets caught with a DDT because he was going for the leg of El Distribuidor. But he has such a large base to him that you go after the leg, you're risking everything.
Yes, but he saw it as if he can get the leg hurt, and make it a lot harder for a bigger El Distribuidor to move around the ring, and he'll be able, with his size, to probably physically run laps around him. In that regard.
Because of his very, in theory, that's a good idea, but because of him having that idea, El Distribuidor just used that leg he tried to grab to knee him in the gut multiple times and then toss him. Oh! Roderick just super kicked the ref!
Roderick is very much not happy with how this match is going down. Enough that he's taking out officials. Is Roderick going to try to use this to his advantage, though, with the ref not being able to see what he's doing? Or is Roderick just going to squander probably one of the few opportunities he's going to have against the Distribuidor tonight?
Super kick a referee. Oh, what the hell? Distribuidor went for a headbutt a moment ago, and he got caught with the European uppercut, and now getting leg sweeped with the big roundhouse to the chest. I think this referee might be in for fixing here, because he just got super kicked. So I think he might go for a slow count on Roderick in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, big cross body. Distribuidor.
Distribuidor, despite his size, does have a little bit more athletic ability.
Oh, wait a minute,
than most
spear.
people would
Sorry
see.
to cut you off. He just hit that spear on Roger. Goes for a pin. 1, 2. 2 count only. And Roger getting up. But can finish your thought, please. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, the referee is not, no matter who you are, you're not going to be happy with getting super kicked, especially on accident, especially barefooted by someone with the likes of Roger.
Oh, no. Roderick's on dive side. El Distribuidor. I think he's going to fucking do a suicide dive.
See, this
Jesus
is the
Christ.
sneaky athleticism I was talking about that El Distribuidor has, that not many men his size are able to do the things that he does, which is why he's able to take advantage of it.
A year ago, he was not this big. Last year, or a little bit before, he was a much smaller man, but he bulked up so that he could have this advantage. But you'd think with that bulking that he wouldn't be able to do the things he still can do. But that suicide dive just proves that he can still do whatever he wants.
Yes. For people like my basketball fans out there are people like Zion Williamson, LeBron, people that have bulked up and gotten bigger over the years, and all they've done with that is be as athletic, but just be able to bully you and just
German
outstrip you and ever
suplex
step
by
you away.
Roderick, sorry. Roderick with that gut-wrench German suplex cover. 1, 2, kick out at 2. Now, I get what you're saying. The bulking up, it doesn't always affect your game, but wrestling, this style is a very different, a whole different animal to whatever you want to say. These men have to have they have to stay in ring shape all year round to be able to stay at this level of competition. Especially like a guy like El Distributador, if he builds up that mass and doesn't, maintain it, he could damage his body in the long term.
Yes,
But right now he's damaging Roderick's body possibly for a long term.
With how big El Distributador has been able to get, we can see that he is very much taking it seriously. Not only his exercise, but with how he's handling Roderick tonight, definitely with his in-ring ability as well.
I mean, he's 10 steps ahead of Roderick McGillicuddy in this match.
Yes, I just hope that doesn't go to his head.
As he hits the spear. I mean, this could be it. No, he goes for a pin. He doesn't go for a pin, I'm sorry. He goes for a stomp instead. Now Roderick is using this mishap to advantage as he hits a German suplex on Distributor, who rolls to the outside. For the first time, we see him retreating from
this
the opposition.
Is exactly what I was saying nearly 30 seconds ago, that he should not take, no matter how big of an advantage he has to his head. It could be a possible. I just don't want it to see him go to his head. You never like when a wrestler has the match in the bag, as it's looked like the Super has, and then throw it away just because he's getting too overconfident, especially in his debut match, in his one opportunity to become better in the day.
Yeah, and the reason why I think he was playing possum when he rolled to the outside is he did a big, I believe it was a judo throw on the floor, but Roderick, though he got hit with that judo throw, he was back up to his feet. Now, Distributor is tangled in the ropes as he gets the body avalanche done to him. Now, Roderick goes for a cover. 1, 2. Kick out at 2 by Distributor. Now, before we continue, I want to take a moment to talk about the reasoning for our pink rope here. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We want to do our part here, and support a cause.
Breast cancer is something that affects a lot of people throughout the world. And as everyone should do, you need to show your support. Donate to who you can. If you know anyone going through this, tell them that you love them and just give them as much support that they need.
Indeed, but the support that Roderick needs is far from that, as he's getting the Tongan death grip done to him. Oh my God! El Distributor just choked Roderick McGillicuddy out.
And this,
with one hand, choking him out.
This is what he was not able to show in his short stint that he had on Uprising, the multi-day matches that he had. He was not able to show this amount of dominance. And on his first match in Relentless, he catches his way into the Money in the Bank in probably the most dominant match we've seen in recent episodes of Relentless.
Especially the fact that, like I said, he grabbed him by the throat and choked him out until he could not continue the match. And looking in the eyes of El Distributor, it's scary. But we have one more match to get to, and it's our main event, World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. Main event time. Brandon Alexander, he's taking this opportunity. It's his rematch clause. He has this guaranteed match. And he's going up against Jurek for the World Heavyweight Championship. Tell me a little bit. Wait a minute. Wasn't Justice Stone supposed to be coming out with him tonight?
Justice Stone was supposed to be coming out with him tonight, and Wells was going to accompany Kenji to the ring as he's done. But we have received word in between matches backstage that Justice Stone was able to actually get backstage and get some revenge on Wells. The footage of that will be released to the BPW Twitter page later on in the night. But it seems like Stone took Wells out of action and then seemed to get lucky twice tonight, as he now gets to go home to his girl, and he got his hands on Wells after what he did to him last week.
Yes, and Katie is a very lucky woman. But Brandon Alexander in the ring as he is awaiting the opponent, Kenji Uri. And Kenji has been on one hell of a hot streak since debuting. I mean, he went from literally nothing to a title in a matter of weeks. I mean, and not just here for a second, he's sporting the Avenge Pro Wrestling shirt, and we have a little bit of an idea for you. Why don't you tell the good people, the idea?
Avenge Pro was originally going to be something done in VPW. It kind of got scrapped. It ended up turning into Uprising and Relentless. We're thinking about having Avenge Pro Wrestling, which will be a completely live show that is done. We will confirm a couple of the matches, and the rest of them will be completely random. You just have to tune in to see. Maybe the more you tune in, the higher the odds you get booked. Maybe it'll be completely random. You never know who's going to face who there. And
it could be cross-branded.
Exactly. You never know who it could be. It could be Eli facing someone from Relentless again after he's been traded to Uprising. We could see the former world champion Joe Blade versus the current world champion after this match ends in either Kenji or Brandon.
Yeah.
It's all just up to you if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, we want some feedback. If you give some feedback, we'll do what we need to do. But we see Kenji here taking the time that he's been like. I said it on Relentless last week. He takes a lot of time on those ropes to show off that he's the champion. I mean, he beat Max Blake in a very competitive matchup last week. But Brandon Alexander, and no offense to Max Blake, Max Blake is no Brandon Alexander. He doesn't have the same heart that Brandon Alexander does. Especially those matches with Joe Blade. I mean, for Christ's sake, Joe Blade put Brandon Alexander through hell for months and months and months, and Brandon never got that win. He got drafted to Relentless, and he finally got the world title, but it wasn't the world title he fought for against Joe Blade. But we've seen the drive that he has, so we'll see if he could continue to have that kind of heart in this match here as the bell rings. Oh, Brandon with the jawbreaker.
As much as I don't like the guy, I'm going to have to compare Kenji to a form of Brock Lesnar when he was in UFC, as he showed up and within 4 matches was the heavyweight champion of the UFC. Kenji has came in here and I wouldn't exactly say steamroll, but he has beaten everyone in his path to become the top man on the show.
It wasn't a steamroll by any means because, like you said, he had competitive matchups. The only non-competitive matchup he had was against Brandon Alexander at the pay-per-view. And there was a few glimmers of hope for Brandon in that match. And when I say a few, I really do mean a few. But in fairness, soon after that match was over with and we heard from the doctors, early in the match, Brandon hit his head off, I believe it was either off the cage or off the post, something like that. And he ended up getting a minor concussion, so he wasn't at full capacity in that matchup.
Yes, especially Kenji, with his competitive matches, he does know how to close out the match, and he does know what he needs to get it done, which is something that, as we've seen from people such as Benny, who world title now to be 0-2 against Ace Reeves, it can take a very long time for people to learn. It can take a long time for people to learn what they need to be able to stay on top and finish matches off, no matter how tired they are and how hurt they are. Brandon, he has so much heart that he takes so much damage that it finally came back to bite him.
It kind of reminds me of Rocky. He thinks he's not as strong as Rocky in some aspects because Brandon takes all this damage thinking that it's going to wear down his opponent, not realizing that he's not going to have 10 seconds on the mat to recover. If Kenji gets you with one of these holds or knocks you out, all he has to do is take you down for the 3 count. He doesn't have to wait for 10. And that's the problem with Brandon is he takes all the damage, but he retains the damage.
Yes, Brandon's able to take more damage than probably anyone on either rosters and be able to still try to push through.
Oh, wait a minute. Kenji catches him with the Golden Star Bomb. That pop-up sit-out last ride power bomb as he covers him, hooking the leg. 1, 2. Kick out at 2 from Brandon.
There's some of the damage retention that we were just talking about with Brandon. Early on, getting hit with a move that devastating.
Wait, Kenji's in the corner. We saw him do this to Max Blake. It's a little bit funky looking, but oh, he went for the running knee strike, and Brandon, back elbow, lifts him up, GTS to the face. No, didn't get the cover. Kenji just stood up like it was nothing.
I think Kenji's trying to show that he can take as much, if not more,
with the
damage
biggest
than
move
Brandon can.
that Brandon Alexander has in his repertoire, and he stood straight up from it. Crossface again. Brandon breaking out again. Jesus Christ.
As much as we've been talking about Brandon's resilience, there's no getting over the fact that Kenji just stood right back up. It's just unbelievable.
How do you get kneed in the face, walk away from it? I mean, he's even busted open after the back elbow. And Brandon's firing himself up. He just hit an atomic drop and now going for the leg drop to the unmentionables. With a drop kick to top it off. Kenji's back up to his feet. Oh, he clotheslines him. And a second one. And again, Brandon is bumping and feeding into the corner.
This is what it seemed like Brandon was not able to accomplish when he lost the title to Kenji due to his head injury.
Back elbow.
He was not able to build himself back up to even put up a fight. But now, without the mild concussion, it seems like he's at least mentally there enough to try to cut back and win his title back.
Think so. Brandon reversed the suplex and now has Kenji in the corner, but he doesn't have the strength to lift Kenji up onto the top rope like he was attempting. So Kenji, another pop-up sit-out last ride.
The sit-out last ride could have been what hurt Brandon's back enough to not be able to support Kenji. Another one has to hurt.
Now a cover. 1, 2. Kick out at 2 from Brandon again. I mean, you gotta applaud the guy for wait, why is he going up to the top rope? What is he doing from the top rope? Oh, a big leg drop from the top, and he's going up for a second. I don't know why he's risking this matchup for a leg drop from the top. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3.
There's your answer for why he was able to risk it and did risk it. High risk, and this is probably the highest reward.
I've never seen Kenji jumping off the top rope with that much consistency, landing with that kind of momentum, and just ending Brandon Alexander there.
See, it's something that not even Brandon or anyone else could have planned for. It's hard to stop something that you don't know will be coming for you.
Yes, and I mean, it doesn't help. Brandon took a lot of damage in this matchup.
Brandon's back was hard enough to where he couldn't pick up Kenji, and then got hit with another that last ride.
Yeah. Now Kenji again he's covered in blood here on the side of his head, but he's celebrating his win. Those leg drops were devastating, but now we got to go on because this was our main event. My name's Jacob. This is Robert. Say your goodbye.
It's been a pleasure. We'll see if I'm back again. Let me know how I did for someone whose monitors messed up and wasn't able to see basically any of the show.
All right, and we're out.